Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here and the overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. And so I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here, just as we were pushing up right there. And so as I started trading here, I saw that we have this measured move in play. We have this, you can view it as downtrend, break, first attempt lower, and then of course I was going to be looking for a way to get in on that second attempt lower, but this is all we got right here. So if you had entered on this second attempt lower right here, you would have to be entering, you'd have to be pushing your target far out of the overnight low. This is a clear support level. You don't want to bet on price breaking out of that. And so anyway, downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. And that second attempt lower is what pushes us down to this measured move right here. And so as soon as we reach that measured move, we get this double bottom right here. So this isn't a coincidence. These measured moves are very important. As soon as it reached it, it started finding support right there. Just like right here, we have this push up, break, second push up, clear as it's came within a tick of that measured move before reversing. We have this larger measured move here, didn't quite reach it, but it's clearly what it was trying to do. Right here, we have this push up, break, another push up, perfect measured move before reversing back down. So get used to drawing these measured moves. They are very important. So anyway, we reach this measured move, we start finding support, and then we form a reversal pattern, being a failed second entry. So we can see first entry short, second entry short, failure, and then it didn't shoot all the way higher yet. It ended up forming this higher low right here, and then getting this really bullish bar right here. I didn't want to enter this one below the EMA, and so I waited, and then I didn't like how this one, pushed all the way up here, and then made a doji, and then this next bar, so I didn't want to enter on that one either, because it's just another doji. And then when we got this right here, it's clearly a higher low holding above the EMA, very strong bar there. And so I liked this with a limit order, but that's the thing about limit orders, they don't always get filled. So I put in my limit order after it triggered above this green bar here, and it just never came back to fill my entry order. So I missed out on that. But as you can see, it's a failed second entry. You can see that first entry short, second entry short, failure, and then I just took that, or I tried to take that higher low right afterward. So anyway, we push up, we make that measured move, we attempt to reverse back down. So notice this first entry long, second entry long, and then you get this push up, this green bar, but it's right into the overnight low. You don't want to enter directly into that. It's just not worth it. Notice how much it struggled to get through there. And so then we push up, we kind of make this double top right here. So we make that double top, and we have this very strong bearish bar down. Now this entry right here, it is closing back inside the overnight low. It's not the most ideal entry because you just made a new high, which is a new count reset. So you just made the new count reset and got a first entry. And then this trend line right here wasn't like that at the time. At the time, it was more like this, and then it had just broken, and then this entry would be that second attempt at a new high for it, but it already made a new high on that first attempt, and I just didn't like how it had just made a count reset and then a strong push down, and it's just a first entry. It's not like it's a failed second entry on the other side of the count. It's just a first entry, so there's no reason to really take that, in my opinion, especially after making a double top and a reset with a strong push down first entry. So anyway, what I would like to see here is, we make a new high and then get clear 2 legs down to the overnight, 2-legged retest of that overnight low. That's what I would like to see, not just the first entry. So anyway, we push up higher here. We reach the other side of the range here, so we reach this overnight high. And so from here, you can see when you have the trend line down here, at first it overshot clearly, but you do still have this STT. If we had overshot this STT right here as well, then I would have liked this short right there, but unfortunately that is a bit too risky still. So we do bounce off of it though. We push lower here, we get this leg down before reaching that key entry point, which I still need to adjust that. There we go. So we push lower here, we don't reach the key entry point, and it's not off of the EMA, so it pushed through the EMA, but it didn't reach the key entry point, which means it's not off of any support right here, so you unfortunately cannot enter long. But we push up here, we reach this overnight high again, we start going sideways. It gets very choppy right here, so it just gets, it's confusing because, you get tempted to go long because you're off this EMA, and then you get tempted to go short because you're off this overnight high. When that happens, you just want to avoid trading at all. It's just getting choppy. It's a mess. Prices are, it's just the bulls are fighting the bears. And that's what happens, because whenever it gets choppy like this, it's usually between a couple of resistance levels. Notice you got this EMA up here and then these highs. So just stay out of this mess, and then we break out, we fade back in. Ideally, in this area right here is you get like you have an uptrend, you're at the overnight high. Ideally, uptrend will break. You get 2 attempts at a new high, and then it fails to make a new high, and kept below by the overnight high, and then you get a failure to go short. But anyway, so we attempt to fade. We hold on this range down here. We just continue to be choppy. There's no way to get long off these lows right here. It's just push down and then getting more choppy. And then it's right into that overnight high. You have no room, so there's really no reason to take any longs or shorts in this area here. So we push up, we break out of this overnight high very strong. Notice we have this measured move in play. We have this push up, break. We started that second push up. We don't quite reach it. I extended this uptrend right here to see how these highs fit, and so it fit pretty well. We had a small overshoot, but of course it basically held. It was just a small overshoot, and then we immediately had these couple pushes down. So when you push off like this, when you come off one side of a channel, you want to see 2 attempts to reach the other side before you enter long, because just like with range rules, even just trend channels, they have similar rules, which is when you come off one side, price is expected to reach the other side. So if you want to enter with that trend before it's on that key entry point, you want to see 2 attempts, because that's how the market moves. It moves in pairs of 2. Just like price will make 2 attempts at a new high for a trend, and you'll have second entries, price will make 2 attempts to reach the other side of a structure, being a channel or a range. So anyway, we get that second leg down right here. We have 2 legs down. It reaches the key entry point, and so we bounce off of it right there. And then I like this entry right here because it's right off that key entry point, pushing above the EMA, and I entered with a limit order, and it ticked higher, it filled my limit order, and then just kept going down to my stop. And so, overall, it does look like a good trade. You have 2 legs down off the key entry point, strong push higher here. What I'm thinking is, because of that overshoot, and also you have this forming right here, but my entry did close out of that. And so I was thinking, this right here, this key entry point is going to be stronger than this one, plus we have this measured move in play. But considering that overshoot and this downtrend combined, I think I was pushing my luck there. I should not have entered that. Overshoots lead to breaks. Sometimes they'll hold for a bit before they break. So when you combine that with a pretty clear downtrend right there, I should have avoided that. So anyway, I got stopped out on that one. We push lower here. We fade the overnight range. Notice how we have the breakout. We fade back in, and then we really shoot back in, and then we push all the way back out very strong. So it's like a symmetry trade right there. You can see we just shoot all the way down, and then we push back up just as fast as we shot down. And so then here we form this failed second entry. So we push back out above the EMA and above the overnight high, and we get this first entry short, second entry short, failure. Now this trade, it's not necessarily completely based on that failed second entry. You also have to look at the bigger picture. So we have this uptrend, break, and we can expect prices to make a new high, because that's how trends work. When an uptrend gets a break, you expect prices to attempt to push up to a new high. And so when you have that, and then price just spikes above very strongly, that's telling you price is going to try to make a new high, and then it holds on that EMA, it holds on that overnight high, telling you it's not going to fade back down, it's going to break out. And so then it forms a failed second entry. Now on its own, the failed second entry here is not the cleanest setup. An ideal failed second entry, like the most cookie cutter version of it, is a push above and then a 2 legs back to the EMA. Now this one is the failed second entry is forming as it continues higher here, but when you have bigger picture context, I don't mind not perfect setup here. It's more about the context. The context overrides the setup. It's a decent setup with really good context, so that's why I like that. And then since it was such a strong push higher here, clearly it's rejecting wanting to fade there, and so that's why I like 1 to 2. It's just it's not even to that measured move. It's still multiple points below that measured move target. So I have no problem doing 1 to 2 on a spike up trade like that. So anyway, We reached the target, we reached that measured move, and notice that as soon as we met that measured move, we reversed back down. It met that measured move, and it also met with this over here, forming a double top. Notice this double top right here. So as soon as that gets reached, we push back lower here, we get this lower high. Notice we rush down, we get a lower high immediately, and then you push lower here, you get this failed second entry. Notice how it got really choppy first, so I didn't like entering into that right there. Notice how much it struggled to push through. It's just not ideal. You don't want it to get that rangy when you're entering on a setup like that. It's just a little bit too risky. And the reason I didn't like this lower high was because when we spiked down like that, I just wanted to see more of a correction first. Because that is just a first entry right there. I see that there's a tick lower right there, or a tick higher, and so you can say failed second entry. On a big picture, this is just one push down right there, and then you have a clear break right there, but of course that's still on that same trend line right there. So I just wanted to see a more significant break, because it could easily just tick lower, make another leg up, and offer you a better entry. So anyway, we push lower here, we fade this overnight range again, so we're pushing back on after that, making that double top, and so it wouldn't be surprising if we get a stronger reversal now, because this uptrend has a break, a couple legs higher, double top. So now I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple legs down like this, or at least a couple strong attempts. Maybe it won't be able to get through the overnight lows. So anyway, in this area here, when we're pushing lower, fading the range, and we are in this downtrend, what I would want to see is a clear two-legged break, retesting that overnight high for a really good, perfect short to make a new low for this downtrend. Because if you get that, you're not only getting a short to make a new low, you're also getting a short to play out the range rules, which is, once again, when you come off one side, you're expecting to reach the other side. So unfortunately, we did not get that. I would have liked to see that. But anyway, we do push up here. We broke back out, and then we're break back in. So at this point, when this happens, what I would like to see is a clear failed second entry back below the EMA, which can still happen here if it sets up right, because it's right now it looks like it's just plummeting on down. But if we can get like a clear pullback, even just a lower high in this situation, that would be good. So, because when you're expecting a couple different things at once, you're expecting a new low, you're expecting price to attempt to reach the other side, you can take a lower high when you're pushing on down like that. So anyway, wow, we're going down. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope I didn't miss out on anything. Sometimes I accidentally skip over a section or something. But yeah, only the 2.5 points today because of this no fill. I just did not want to go down an extra tick and get me in that trade. So yeah, minus 2.5 right there, and then plus 5 right there. So that's just 2.5 points for the day. It's still not bad. That's still 2.5 points in one day. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helped out in some way, and I'll see you all next time.